in, captions are enabled. You can turn them on if you'd like. There is a live transcription available and it is being recorded. All right. Well, hi everyone. My name is Ashley Biggs. I am the Marketing and Outreach Librarian for the Maryland State Library for the Blind and Print Disabled. Just to kind of give you a quick little overview of what we do. Our library provides accessible reading options to those unable to access traditional print. That means individuals who are blind, have low vision, individuals who have dyslexia, perhaps have a physical inability to hold a book or turn a page. Our library provides accessible reading options to keep them engaged with their communities. We are a robust library. We provide programming and events and a lot of additional services and training that you would find at a traditional library, just geared towards those who cannot access print. So the Library for the Blind and Print Disabled is lovingly called LBPD. If you go and type that into Google, you will get like the Long Island Police Department and the Long Beach Police Department and all sorts of things. So please make sure you type in Maryland LBPD. I did try to snag just the LBPD handles on things, but unfortunately, Long Beach Police Department beat me to it. So what can I say? So we are a statewide service. You must be a resident of Maryland to use our services. We are a cooperating network library of the National Library Service for the Blind and Print Disabled. And what that means is that by law, every state has a library like ours. So if you are dealing with an individual who goes from Maryland and decides to move to Virginia, they have a library in Virginia, or they have a library in Wisconsin. We just transfer everything to that library there. So it's a seamless service across the country. A little bit specifically about our library. We provide accessible reading. What that means is that we provide books and magazines in Braille. We provide books and magazines in audio format. We provide books in large print. We provide accessible technology training, accessible textbooks for college students, public computers with accessibility software, and events and programs geared towards individuals who cannot access print. What you are seeing in the top of your screen, you're going to see a little more in depth on the next slide, is the digital talking book machine. That is our bread and butter, as my boss would like to say. And on top of that machine is a digital talking book. So a little bit about how we deliver books to individuals. As you know, not everybody who has print disabilities reads Braille. Some, like myself, might be dyslexic. Some may have had a stroke, or perhaps they have a physical inability to hold a book. So we provide a digital talking book machine. There are ways that we get that to you is through the U.S. Postal Service. Everything is mailed directly to you. So the digital talking book machine weighs approximately 2 pounds. It is 9 inches by 6 inches and about 2 inches thick. It is a pretty robust machine. I would say that it's, very versatile. It has a 29 to 30 hour battery life, and is rechargeable. all the books come on a specialized cartridge. That cartridge is a huge USB drive, and that goes in the front of the digital talking book player. Now, there's only one way to put that cartridge in the player. It doesn't go in backwards or upside down. It is beveled on both ends, both the receiving end and the cartridge end, to fit together snugly. When you do, you'll hear a beep, and the player will tell you how many books are on that cartridge. Each cartridge contains anywhere between 5 and 25 books. Each cartridge is developed specifically for that patron, so there are there's no waiting for books. What that means is if you have an individual who has multiple requests, we can put all those requests on one cartridge typically. The device is easy to use. All the instructions are built into the device, so you're not fiddling with a packet or a tiny print to figure out how to use it. All the buttons will talk to you and tell you what they do. If you notice on my screen, the digital talking book cartridge that's popped in the player and in the mailing case has a hole in it. That is for a mouth stick, a spoon, a mobility aid if needed. It's there. The device is lightweight and portable. We only use real human voices. So these are books that are recorded by humans, no AI. On the side, there's USB access. So if they're downloading books from our website, which we'll get to in a minute, they can plug that into the side of their player via USB stick. We do offer accessories like headphones and remotes and pillow speakers as needed. Again, we do everything through the U.S. Postal Service. And that means that we send this out in a box that has a mailing label on the front. The mailing label will have the patron's address on one side, and it will have our address on the other. It is also delineated differently by having one side be all white and the other side have a two-tone color. For those who are totally blind, there is a punch hole on that mailing card, and you just rotate it so the punch hole is on the opposite side. We do tell you to keep the original box. That usually doesn't happen, but we try anyway. All the cartridges are mailed in a specialized container. As you can see on the screen, this one is blue. Sometimes they are gray, and they are designed to be opened by individuals with no vision, individuals with physical disabilities, and individuals with mobility issues. Next up is Braille. We do offer a lot in Braille. So I want you to imagine something for me. If you remember Joy of Cooking, that book that is like the kitchen Bible, it is probably 4 inches thick and in size 000 font and like 1,000 pages, right? Well, that translates into over 30 volumes in Braille. Now, don't get me wrong. There is something to be said about reading the book and holding it in your hand and smelling it. But sometimes it's just so much easier if you could have your Braille books on the go. So the National Library Service, again, we are a network library, provides a Braille reader. This Braille reader will allow you to download books directly to the device or put them on a cartridge and we can mail them to you for the device. And you can take your books and magazines with you and read them on the go in Braille. It's a really nifty device. All the pins go up and down, and you can access the internet through it. It's a very nifty device. Again, we do offer a mobile version of our services through something called Bard Mobile. Bard Mobile is the Braille and audio recording download service. Bard allows people to access thousands upon thousands of books in audio and Braille formats and download them directly to their device. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, if they're blind, how do they use a smartphone? Well, a lot of times individuals who are visually impaired use assistive technology on their phone, like VoiceOver or TalkBack. And that allows them to navigate the phone with both voice commands and physical commands like swipes and taps and turns. And the Bard mobile app allows people to use assistive technology. Its layout is very similar to the digital talking book player. It's got the great big green button in the middle that says start stop. It's got a slide rule for speed and tone. It's got a ability to jump chapters through side arrows. All of that looks the same. So if you were to hold it up next to the digital talking book player, the layout is very similar. So it's a nice transition between the two. You do need data or Wi-Fi to access this service. You have to download your book. The difference between downloading a book and getting one from us in the mail is that the books that we send in the mail must be returned. You're allowed 4 cartridges checked out before the computer will say, no more. With Bard Mobile, you can download up to 100 books a month to your mobile device, and you can keep them as long as you need them. Something that we offer all of our patrons is access to the technology user group. The technology user group is a fun group that meets on the second Saturday of every month, and they discuss assistive technology. They meet via Zoom, and we bring in presenters, we bring in technology, and we talk about how assistive technology can make your life better. Most recently, we had Christine Ha, who is a chef. She was a master chef on the television show. She won, I think, the 3rd season, but she is totally blind. And she comes in and talks not only about her experience, but also about the kitchen technology she uses to run her restaurants. And I think she has 2 now. It is a Skillshare opportunity. So a lot of times people come to these meetings and say, hey, I learned a new trick, and they share it with the group. We do record them and archive them, so they are available for public consumption after the meeting. If you are working with individuals who are college age or who are going back to school, we do provide accessible textbooks. Now, this program is pretty individualized and works in conjunction with the Department of Special Services at a college, Disability Services, I should say. It is designed for 2 or 4-year college students going to a brick or mortar school here in Maryland. So it must be a physical school here in Maryland, and they must be attending in person. It works in conjunction with the DSS office, as I said. Students still need to purchase a copy of their book, but what we will do is take that book and turn it into an accessible format. That means an MP3, a large print PDF, a Word document, an EPUB document. We are working on Braille transcription, but that takes a long time. We tend to focus more on getting the materials to them via email. We don't really mail it to them physically, but we will put them on cartridge if we need to. Some supplementary services that we offer. One is called Bookshare. Bookshare is a third-party service that provides reading options to those unable to access print. You must have similar criteria to use this service, but it will allow you to download books and read them in an audio format, and you can download them and put them in on a cartridge for your player. And it gives you access to niche books that are just not in our collection. Sometimes, people call us up and like, I'm taking the Safe Serve, and we're like, Bard, I'm sorry, Bookshare. And sometimes we will get calls for people who are taking a real estate exam, Bookshare. It is a synthetic reading voice, though. I will warn you, you are having Siri talk to you. So sometimes I will say it can be a little struggle to get through. We offer access to NFB Newsline. NFB Newsline is typically a paid service, but patrons of our library get it for free. That gives people access to newspapers, magazines, and periodicals that they otherwise would not have access to. So if you are someone who is interested in your local newspaper, this would be an option for you. You can access it over the phone, via the web, or through the app. The other thing it does is it provides emergency weather alerts. We used to have radios for that, sometimes work. Well, this gives you an option to access those directly. Again, it is a synthetic reading voice, but if you want to be able to read your Sunday morning newspaper, this is the way to go. We do offer programs and events, very much like a public library that you can walk into. We do offer reading challenges throughout the year. We do tactile tours set up for people who are blind, low vision, or have print disabilities. Crafts, games. We bring in guest speakers, live podcasts, pre-recorded podcasts, partner events, and more. So it's a very robust collection, library that we provide. Okay, I've just dumped a lot of information into your head, and you're probably like going, that's great. What's this going to cost somebody? First off, we're free, but you do have to qualify for service. To qualify for service, you must have a visual, physical, or organic impairment that prevents you from accessing print. This is not for those who have an intellectual, developmental, or cognitive disability. This is for individuals who cannot access print. To give you an example, someone may have Down syndrome, but they can read at a 3rd grade level. That does not qualify them for service. If they have Down syndrome and are also blind, that would qualify them for service because of the visual impairment. This is a federally designed program, so we are following federal rules. In order to enroll in service, you must complete an application. This application does ask for some very basic information. Name, date of birth, how do we contact you, that kind of thing. But the second page is the certifying authority page. This absolutely must be filled out before services can be provided. A certifying authority is going to be a doctor, a nurse, a social worker, rehabilitation teacher, therapist, professional staff at an institution, speech pathologists, someone in a professional capacity that states you meet the medical need for service, that you are blind, that you have low vision, that you are dyslexic, that you've had a stroke and you can no longer hold a book or turn a page, that you meet the criteria as defined by law for service. If we don't get that certification, we cannot provide service. A couple of frequently asked questions that I get all the time is, do you offer music? And the answer is no, not for listening. We offer music instruction. We offer musical scores in Braille and large print. And we have instructional materials. We don't have music for listening. What is the cost? Again, this is free to all Marylanders who are eligible. And finally, how are materials sent to me? Again, through the U.S. Postal Service or direct download. I'm going to open the floor up for questions. Again, I know I just did a huge brain dump in a short amount of time. I do like to try to respect everybody's time and not like hang on to you for like an hour or so. But you can I'm here for questions. I I can go into more detail about certain services, all of that. So please feel free to come off mute, drop it in the chat, whatever you'd like to do.
Hi, this is Joan Romanoff from Accessible Resources for Independence, and I just have a quick question. What is a pillow speaker?
Oh, that's really nifty. So a pillow speaker is a disc that has plugs into the side of the player with a jack, and it will take the volume of listening via headphone and put it through this little tiny speaker. It is designed for an individual who is bedridden. So if there's someone who is laying in bed and they want to listen to their materials privately, it's hard to do so with over-the-ear headphones or earbuds. So a pillow speaker is something that actually can rest on the pillow so that you can hear privately. But it allows you to adjust the volume all the way up to the maximum allowed amount through headphones.
Great, thanks so much.
Oh, Nikki, thank you so much. Nikki just said it was her grandmother used the device with cartridges and enjoys the book. So I'm so glad.
Yeah, Ash, this is Erin speaking. I wanted to thank you again for the presentation. You've already answered all of my questions that I would have had about eligibility and application for the programs. It's just really exciting to hear more about these programs, especially, the priority programs for accessible reading, the technology user group and the accessible textbooks for college, all really great resources for the community. So thank you so much for sharing this with all of us today, and we'll happily share this amongst our community and our network.
Definitely. Erin, I'll send you the direct link to the recording along with my slides and contact information. So if anybody has any additional questions, they can always reach out to me directly.
Wonderful.
So, again, I like to respect time. I don't want to make anybody sit on Zoom forever and a day. And besides, it's so pretty out. Go out and take a walk. My 20-month-old, she's decided to sleep during this time, so perfect timing. If I can answer any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. All right. Well, you guys have a great day. Thank you so much.